Okay, hi, welcome to our video tutorial. So in this video tutorial we're going to see loop statements. Specifically we'll see for loop and while loop, but for this video we'll see for loop, how to implement for loop syntax, and in the next one we'll see while loop as well. So let's get started. Let's create our file, Python file, and for loop statements. Okay, now there are usually loops. When we say loops, it means a task being done repetitively. Okay, if we are going to define something to be done multiple times, then we have to specify three values. The first thing, the concept I'm talking is not specific to Python, but in any programming language, if you do or if we implement some iterative operations, we have to specify when to start, the starting point, ending point, and also incremental, which means how is the value being incremented from start until it reaches the end. So these are the values being required when we define loops. But when we come to Python to specific, we have options. Let's see. Let's print a value from 1 to 10. Okay, but I'm not going to print all the numbers manually, like print 1 and print 2, and it so keeps on like that. This is a manual work. It's not something effective. So that's what loops are available. Okay, so what I can do is for habit from Java. So after say for then we will define a variable. Let's call it I, and we need to define the range from where to where. Okay, so I'm going to define the starting point, comma, and the ending point. Now let's print the value I. Okay, let's run our code. As you can see, now we'll get we'll get numbers from 0 to 9, because starts from 0 and went 10 times, or print 10 times. So including 0, it's 10 times. Okay, we can make it start from 1. So it will go from 1 to 9. So when we do that, it will go from 1 to 10. Now this is a basic for loop statement. In here we can do anything we like as long as it's in the specified range. Okay, but this is not but in this scenario it's being assumed that Python assumed that when we provide only the two values, the starting and ending point, Python by default assumes that the incremental factor is by 1. Okay, I'm incrementing I by 1, so every time it iterates, it adds the value I by 1. What if I want to add the value I by 2, which means only I want to see even numbers here? How am I going to manage that? So let's see how to do that. Okay, so here we can specify another component here, a step or an incremental factor. What is the incremental factor here? Now I want it to. If we don't provide it, by default it will be 1. Now let's run our loop. Now as you can see, it's adding by 2. 0, then 2. 1 is ignored. because the value is being incremented by 2. Okay, so this is the basic syntax for our for loop. But for loops are not only being used for iterating numbers. We can also use them to view our lists or tuples. Okay, let's see what it means. Like, let's have a variable called a student name. So it's a list, so we'll define some names. Okay, so we have 5 names. Now, what if I want to print all the names, but not like this? This will give me all the names, but as a complete string, not specific items. I want these values to be shown like those numbers. Okay, to do that, I can use for loop as well. What I can do is, I will say for name in my list. Okay, then I will say print name. Let's see how it works. Now, as you can see, it prints all the names from my list. So what this syntax means: pick every name from the list student names and store it or assign it to the variable name. That's what this line works. This line means. It means that pick one value at a time from this list and store it here. So after storing, it will print the variable and it will go again. So it will pick the second value from this list, assign it to this variable, and it will print again. So this is how our for loop works. We can use this for loop for tuples as well, exactly like we used in list. Okay, so this is it for loop. In the next video, we'll see how to implement while loops. So I hope it's clear. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions of any kind, please don't hesitate to put it in the comment section below. And also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you didn't already done it. Okay, so we want your subscription so that you'll get notified every time we add new videos or new tutorials in our channel. So thank you very much for watching.